I'm so glad to come talk to you guys today about something that is very controversial right now, abortion. I would like to start out by saying that my pro-life journey, I did not always start out as a pro-life advocate. It's not that I agreed with killing babies, it's that from my viewpoint at this point in time, I did not think that the government should really get involved in telling women what they should do. However, God, I think, had something different in store for me, and it was when I became a senior in college that I decided to take a developmental biology course. Now, I'm walking in thinking that this is going to be like every other science course I've ever taken in my life in college, which was extremely boring and monotonous. And yet by the way, are there any STEM majors in here? You guys are my people. So I'm sitting there in this class, and my professor, who was known for discovering this single form of snail, specifically known to the state of Florida, so you can imagine taking his class and talking about human life was completely boring. I'm sitting there, and he's saying, okay, we went out and got 60 chickens, and we're going to observe the developmental process of these chickens. And I know you guys are probably like, wait, she's talking on abortion. Why is she talking about these chickens, and why is there a chicken on the screen? I'll get to that in a second. So I'm sitting there, and I'm going through this process, and he says, okay, look, we're going to open up this fertilized chicken embryo, and I'm going to give you this scalpel here, and I want you to cut off a developing bud in this chicken. And I'm thinking, oh my God, why would I do that? But I'm sitting there with my dissection microscope, and as I open it up and I'm looking at this beating heart, I started thinking about abortion. And to me, I'll get to this in a second, but I had never really seen the science behind it. And I think that it's really interesting that right now you have an entire political agenda that will push global warming in the name of science, but they won't acknowledge the scientific facts about what constitutes life. You cannot, if you're using science, pick and choose what science you want to choose from in the name of your agenda. So I'm sitting there, and as I'm going through and I'm essentially cutting off this developing limb of this embryo, I see it shake. I felt completely awful about it. And, I passed my exams, go through, take my finals, and at the end of the course, my professor goes, okay, well, we're just going to toss these chicken embryos out. And I'm thinking, oh my God, they're fertilized. I'm not going to let this happen. So what I end up doing is I take home all 60 chicken eggs. My husband at the time, mind you, was in Mosul, right? And so he's calling me, he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, nothing. We lived at a townhome. I'm talking like a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom townhome, no backyard, Florida. And I'm sitting there with incubators hand-rotating these eggs, and I don't know when they're gonna hatch. I just know that I ran dissections on them, and I had all these chickens left. Well, what ended up happening is I ended up with 60 chickens. And so I got on my Snapchat on my Instagram, and I put a cute Snapchat filter, and I gave them all away to local farmers, but I realized something. I felt awful about these chicken eggs. Imagine a human being. Come to find out later on that my husband, this incredible man who fought multiple combat tours overseas, thank you. This is actually him when he had gotten shot and was coming back at Walter Reed, and him while he's deployed in Mosul. My husband is that 0.003% that was conceived in rape. No human being deserves to be a choice, and we as women absolutely need to take a stand against other women that choose to inform our younger generation that human beings are a choice and that it's a feminine right. It's not. Being a feminist does not mean you encourage the slaughter of infants, and that's what's happening now. Sorry, I get very emotional on this topic. I feel like every time I'm on stage, I get emotional with you guys. I'm always crying about something.
Hey everybody, this is Charlie Kirk, founder and CEO of Turning Point USA. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Turning Point USA.